Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. There is only one knowledge where the knower becomes the known, and in all other knowledges the knower does not become the known. And thank God it is so. Suppose I know this is a donkey. What a joy it will be. All the donkeys will be on strike. So that knowledge where knowing and being is one is the ultimate in knowledge. Therefore, jnananam jnanam uttamam. And therefore Bhagavan says, mama sadharmyam agataha. Having known this, you will be me. Now see, there is no other area where the teacher guarantees you that you will be me. And therefore, what is the sadharmya? What is the oneness with the Lord? The first oneness with the Lord, sargepi nopajayante. Yesterday we have seen this. Sarga means creation. When we talk about creation, there are 2-3 views. We will take 1 or 2 of them. First we will take, according to our scriptures, there are different types of creations. One is the creation what we know. Second is the creation where there is only a sankalpa, a thought. Like so kamayata, it comes in Upanishad. He desired and the whole world was created. This is called as sankalpa srishti. Creation out of thoughts. What we know is a biological creation. But that is not all. There is a third type of creation where there is a creation and yet there is no creation. Such as when we see the waves born in the ocean. So they are born, yet they are not there. Because waves cannot remain apart from independent of the ocean. So there is a creation-less creation. Now this is what Bhagavan is telling. Sargepi nopajayante. He is not born when there is a creation. Means what? We have to only remember, understand, recognize this truth. And this you don't have to believe. Please, don't believe me. Evaluate your own experience. Normally, in the path of devotion, you have to believe. Belief is working only in the field of ignorance. Bhagavan Krishna will come and give me his darshan. And then I don't know what I will ask. I always forget wrong time. So, have you seen? No. Then no, what people have seen, so I may also see. So this is all in the darkness, in the field of ignorance. So you have to start only with the belief. Now here, you don't have to believe me. Evaluate your own experience. Do we ever have had any time the experience of our birth? If no, on what ground we celebrate happy birthday to whom? Who is born? Friends, this recognition, this absolute awareness of our being is all that we have to do. In fact, we have to undo. We don't have to do. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Yas jnata Jnatva. All our problems are born out of wrong understanding. The moment understanding is corrected, you stand happy. So, sargepi nopajayante. And second is, pralayena vyathanti cha. And when there is a destruction, there is no misery. Vyatha is becoming miserable on account of the miseries. Is called as vyatha. Na vyathayanti, na vyathanti. Now see, there are 4 types of destructions according to our scriptures. First is called as nitya pralaya. Nitya pralaya is every day we go to sleep. And thereafter, everywhere there is happiness. Because we are asleep. And in that sleep, we are also happy. And this is every day happening. If you are really interested in sleep, study the 11th chapter of Panchadashi. आपकी नींद उड़ जाएगी. That is such a sleep that you will attain freedom from sleep. So that is called a Nitya Pralaya. Every day, everyone goes to sleep and the whole world is dissolved. Again, next day, with the identification with the body, again the whole world is created. And this is going on and on and on. There is nothing new about it. Nitya Pralaya. Second is Naimittika Pralaya. Naimittika Pralaya is that when there is some kind of coma, you are for a long period not available to this world. On some nimitta, on some reason, Naimittika Pralaya. And the third one is called as the Prakritika Pralaya, wherein the whole world is dissolved into the cause. And the fourth one is the Atyantika Pralaya, where you come to recognize never there was a creation and therefore never there will be a destruction. Atyantika Pralaya, your individuality is no more troubling you. Be very attentive. When we are wanting freedom, liberation, for I, we belong to the first 3 categories. So, I am very frustrated with my husband, with my wife, but where can I go? So, I go to sleep. So, in that sleep, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, I am liberated. Again, next morning, the same tobacco and the same tuna. Ragdo or khao. No change at all. So we are seeking liberation for I. If I have poverty, I want to seek liberation from the poverty. So I become rich. If I am unhealthy, then I am seeking health. So freedom, liberation from the diseases. If I am ignorant, I don't know anything about Gita. So I will study Gita. And then I will seek liberation from the ignorance about Gita. Then what will I do? I will impose my knowledge on others. So earlier I was ignorant, now I am wise. In this manner the I is maintained through and through. Friends, till such time, this I is maintained, we are far away from the liberation. Therefore, Atyantika Pralaya, the real Pralaya, real destruction is liberation from I. Let the I disappear. See? And that is possible only when we come to recognize Jnatva. Only recognize who you are. In that recognition, there will be being without becoming. Being and becoming, see the difference. Man, for example, is being. So being a man, Don't cry like this, Bhagavan told Arjuna. But Arjuna said, you call me man, but actually I am a grandson, I am a disciple. Katham bhishmamaham sankhe dronam cha madhusudana. How can I kill my grandfather? Meaning, he no more continued as Arjun, but he became the grandson. So wherever there is becoming, you are completely miserable. Therefore, friends, in this being, you have to only recognize your exact identity. In that exact identity, you will see you disappear. And only the truth remains. Very attentive, I give an example. Take, for example, a candle and keep it in front of a mirror. What is the mirror? Glass coated with, from the back side, the mercury oxide. And this is how the reflection takes place. Now, when you keep the candle burning in front of the mirror, there will be a reflection of the flame. Now, bring that candle and the mirror very close to each other and let it remain. Don't do anything. Because of the heat of the flame, that background mercury oxide will be slowly given up and it will fall down. Then what will happen to the reflection of the flame? Where will it go? It will go nowhere. Why? Because it was never there. Reflection is not a reality. It only appears. In the same manner, when this miserable I, this will come subsequently, then this miserable I stands face to face with the reality. And in that standing face to face with the reality, like the reflection of the flame disappears and only the flame remains. In the same manner, only the reality remains and I disappears. This is what is meant over here. Sargepi nopajayante pradayena vyatanticha. So, the misery because of the destruction will be destroyed. See the beauty. And this is all what we have to just understand. And the more we become aware about this phenomena, the more it is easy. It is something like this. We go with our patient to the hospital in the emergency ward. We as the relatives or the friends of the patient, we do not know the gravity of the situation. So what we do, we imagine it is a gone case. And all the doctors and the nurses in that emergency ward, they handle every day only these type of cases. And they are able to assess what is the real seriousness of the case. Accordingly, they treat. But we who are ignorant become panicky. See, these people don't take care, because we are poor, it continues. But the one who knows, he is not perturbed in the same manner. The moment we come to discover our identity, exactly what we are, never we were born, never we will die. With this knowledge, when you start playing the game of life, other than fun and joy, nothing will be your lot. See? Is it not an actor on the stage? He is crying, he is a villain, he is a sufferer, he is an enjoyer, he is a king, he is a beggar. All these things he performs. And yet, none of these things ever touch him. Because he knows he is only acting. Yesterday after I told you how many of you have gone and told your husband / wives respectively, honey, I love you. One person met me and said, Swamiji, I wanted to go and tell my husband, honey, I love you. But how can I tell the lies? So, sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. Such a person never suffers in this world. Every moment he is one with that infinite bliss. And for that, only one thing we have to do. Recognize yourself. You are not a miserable creature. You are not a frustrated being. You are not the manifestation of a disgusted God. See? God was getting bored. I don't know what is it. It is not a jala hua thepla. See? The Lord has created this world. Ananda deva kalpimani bhutani jayante. Anandena jatani jivanti. This world is the expression of the eternal bliss. How can there be misery in this world? Therefore, sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. This is oneness with the Lord. Mama sadharmya magata. Now see, all of you are professionals in listening to Satsang. So, you know most of the things. And to talk before the professionals is a real challenge, So, what happens in Bhagavad Mahapuran, this topic comes. And what is the topic? There, Mama Sadharmya Magataha. We have seen the life of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Right from before conception, there was problems organized for him. Isn't it? And all through his life, there was nothing but a series of problems following him. If you see and study his life, you will never say, let my life be like Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Imagine, he was happy in spite of 16,108. Try with one. Isn't it? One day one person asked me, Swamiji, what is your age? I say 75. But you look only 35. What is the secret? I said, no wife. When you carry the load of wife on your head, so it is all the frustration. Oh God, why did I get married? God says, this is my question. I sent you to celebrate life, but you have gone and calibrated the life rather than celebrating. So, when you see Bhagwan Sri Krishna's life, so much of tragedy, so much of torture, so much of problems, to the extent toward the end of his life, his own children did not listen to him. And he has to see the destruction of his own children before his own eyes. See? And if it is the one child died, it's okay, you can sustain. So many university, he doesn't have to send the children to school. His house itself was university. You can see what tragedy he has gone through. But was there a single moment in his life where he cried or complained? No. That is Mama Sadharmya Magata. Friends, this life is given to us by the Lord only for one purpose. And what is the purpose? First of all, Bhagwan created the stones and bricks. And after that he looked around, not good. Then he created the plant kingdom. He saw a hall stagnating in one place. Let there be some dynamism. Then he created the animals, dumb creatures. And then he was frustrated. And out of frustration, when he was, you can imagine Brahmaji's frustration with 4 heads, 4 times. So with the 4 heads, hands, he was holding it. Brahmani say, what's wrong with you? Never you are in a smiling mood. Doesn't mean that you have 4 heads, you are very responsible. No. Like, many people are presidents of different clubs, trustees of different trusts. That doesn't mean they are responsible. No. It's only a load they are carrying on their head. So, see, I have been doing a lot of creation, but I am not happy. I don't know what I should. She said, shall I tell you something? Now you teach me how to do creation. Yes, let me try. Okay, tell. And then Brahmani tells. Darling, she says in English. Because I was there that time. Darling, why don't you create someone like you, but with 1 head? But with 4 heads, I know how terrible it is. 1 is enough. And then Brahmani said, hey, you are a genius. Then she said, of course, without this, how can I select you? And then God created man in His image. And it is in the human beings alone the manifestation finds fulfillment. And what is the happiness? What is the joy? Ability to expand infinitely is called as happiness. Isn't it? When you are happy, do you laugh in your nose? No. When you are happy, you go to the 7th floor. Not in the laughing club. There are no characters. So when we are happy, we expand. Is it not? So when you go to somebody's house, not your own house, when you go to somebody's house for taking food, see the number of dishes. Why? Because they are happy to invite you and feed you. So out of 1 sound, anahata dhvani, there is a bass sound. And on that bass sound, sa re ga ma. Don't worry, I am not going to sing. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. And how many rag and all things have come? This is how only in the human beings alone the God finds His manifestation in completeness. And as a last stroke, Bhagwan has given this ability to express happiness only in the human beings, and that is with a smile on the face. Human beings alone can smile. Now don't take out another meaning. Those who don't smile, don't take out that meaning. I don't say that, you decide. So, this is what mama sadharme magataha. In spite of all the problems and difficulties in life, he was ever smiling. In Bhagavad Gita also begins with this only. Prahasan iva bharata. There was one day, I was somewhere, and one Mahatma ji told me, Swamiji, I see you sometime on TV and I have heard you also once or twice. One thing I don't like. I said, who cares? He said, that is the problem with you. I said, it's problem with you, not with me. I am free from all the problems. I said, anyway, what is that you don't like? He said, you take out everything and bring it to only laughing. Do you mean Bhagavad Gita, Shastra, Grantha is a book for laughing? I said, Maharaj, what you tell is true, cry. I will be there with the tabla peti. But see how Bhagwan Sri Krishna has delivered the discourse. Sanjay says, Prahasan Ima Bharata. The one who sang this Bhagavad Gita song with the joy of expression, how can it contain miseries at all? When you become a companion with Arjun, you will complain and cry. If you really want to study Bhagavad Gita, join the party of S.V. Yadav. Yadava just started creating problems from that time onwards. It is not a new thing. It is a historical fact. So, once you are one with the Lord, you will see everything is right in its own place. Mama sadharme magataha. Otherwise, what is the use of that knowledge? One day, one professor, he is retired. I think he is no more now by God's grace. When I met him, he has guided some student in Shankar Vedanta. And he was from Bombay only. Name I don't remember. He was somewhere in other universities. After retirement, he came to Bombay. And I was knowing his student who has done doctorate on Shatashloki of Bhagwan Shankaracharya. So I said, let me go and meet your Guru Maharaj. He must be a genius. So I went to his house. With all appointment and all that. But wherever you go with appointment, disappointment is guaranteed. So I went there. And after having gone there, he is a grahastha with a husband, a wife, children, everything. After I went there, not even a common courtesy, will you take a glass of water or you will take a cup of tea. For 3 hours, I was listening patiently. Now I can understand your torture. So, I was listening. After that, he said, hey, I'm sorry, I have forgotten. I didn't ask you anything. I didn't even allow you to talk. Now you tell something. I said, sir, I have come to listen to you. I have nothing to ask or talk to you. And then, he said, I have got one doubt. Will you please explain? I said, what is that? How to do the japa? I said, I'll tell you. But as you know, you are a student of Vedanta. You will have to become my disciple. And I am your Guru. Then only I will explain you. And therefore, I am sitting in this chair. Will you please sit down there? Then I'll tell you. Hey, you have got a very good sense of humor. I said, no, I am serious. It is not humor. See? What is the use of that knowledge which doesn't allow your iceberg to be dissolved into the water? See? Very important. When the knowledge is undigested, it is reflecting as an urticaria of the mind. And then such a person is only carrying the load of knowledge, erudition, scholarship. But as regards life is concerned, it is totally insipid. No taste whatsoever. No ras. See? Not even Gujarati Pajita. No? The Gujarati Bhajita, you all know, most of you are Gujaratis, isn't it? They don't allow even 1 gram of little bit of rust to go away. They take out everything. So, therefore, mama sadharme magataha. Therefore, please remember, if spiritual life is making you dry, dehydrated, bored, and nobody wants you around, understand there is abnormality in your spiritual practice. That is not the right way. In the 12th chapter, the Lord told us, Yasman no dvijate lokaha, lokan no dvijate chaya. He who is not discarded by the Lord, and he who is not discarding anybody, he alone is walking the spiritual path. Otherwise, when the people are afraid of us, hey, Bhag, why Vedanta is coming? Then understand, ours is the undigested Vedanta that is being vomited without experience behind it. Therefore, Sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyatanticha, and this is sadharma. This is being with the Lord. Now, after having given this, the greatness of this knowledge, now Bhagavan starts giving the knowledge. What he says, Mama yonir mahat brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavas sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Now this is the most subtlest of the expression of creation. When he says sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyatanticha, sarga means creation. Now what is the creation? How the creation takes place? If you really want to enjoy some more, you study the first chapter of Amritanubhava written by Santa Gyaneshwar. There the topic is Shiva Shakti Samavesha. And there you will see the depth of knowledge. The same thing is brought out here. He says, Mama yoni mahat brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham. My wife, her name is Mahat Brahma. And I put the garbha, the seed in her. And thereafter, sambhavaha sarva bhutanam. Then the whole world is created. Tato bhavati bharata. This is the process of creation. Now, this very subtle thought, be extremely attentive. It appears that like husband and a wife is separate, husband is separate. The wife is the provider of the womb and husband is the one who is sowing the seeds. And then the crop of the beings is created. This is what is the picture. But the Lord is one without a second. So where from his wife Mahat Brahma has come? Mama yonir Mahat Brahma. Therefore, please remember, any topic that you study in our scriptures has the purpose of drawing our attention to the reality. That is the purpose. So, what are the topics that are studied? First, the creation. The theories of creation, you will come across dozens of them. In the 4th chapter of Panchadashi, about 9 theories are enumerated. And all those theories tell different method of creation. Now the purpose of discussing the topic of creation is not to prove that there is a creation. The purpose is to draw our attention to the one without a second reality. That is the purpose. Now this example I give a number of times. We are interested to teach our child mathematics. And these days, the modern way is what? Study should be a fun. That is the latest concept. It should not be a burden, it should be a fun. So to make the study funny, so what I decided, I thought, let me teach this child who doesn't know mathematics sums. So I took out one chocolate. I said, what is this? Chocolate, uncle. Then I say, no, this is not only chocolate, this is one chocolate. What is this? Chocolate. Why don't you say one? Okay, one chocolate. So where is his attention? His attention is on chocolate. Where is my attention? On one. Then to make him still understand, I take out another. What is this? Chocolate. I told you, you want, okay, one chocolate. When will I get it? Now further I go. This is what? One chocolate. He doesn't say. I only say. This is what? Another one chocolate. So one chocolate plus one chocolate is called as two chocolates. So I feel great. I made my child understand mathematics. And I give him homework. And now try. So the homework is 1 mango plus 1 mango, how many mangoes? And now the child is very seriously sitting. So his mother comes and asks a question. Beta, what's problem? What do you understand? What's the problem? Every child has got a very low opinion about the mother. Courtesy father. So the mother says, Beta, let me try at least what it is. Okay, try. The problem is 1 mango plus 1 mango, how many mangoes? No, the mother says 2 mangoes. I knew you will say this. Why? What happened? I understand now why daddy tell you like this. Now I understood everything. But what is wrong? Mama, 1 chocolate plus 1 chocolate becomes 2 chocolate. This is mango. This is not chocolate. Now see his difficulty. Don't simply brush it away. It is his real problem. Same thing is our understanding of the scriptures. Now the scriptures, the Lord is talking about the creation to bring our attention to the absolute reality, and we get so much enchanted by this. Like in Vedanta, there is one prakriya called as Panchikaranam. That is the grossification of the tamoguni aspect of the Pancha Mahabhutas, out of which the gross world is made. It is just a prakriya. And in that what they tell, that every element is divided into 2 halves. 1 half remains intact. The remaining half is further divided into 4. And then the 1 half intact and 1/8 from the remaining 4, they again mix together, and thus a grossified gross element is formed. It is just a prakriya. And when for the first time the student studies it, 1/8, 1/4, half, how it will become, and when they say, I understood everything. This is just a chocolate or a mango. It's not that. See? Therefore, when I am explaining you this, keep this thing in view. We are not interested in creation. Our interest is to discover that, having known which, you refuse to suffer in this world. Mama sadharme magataha. That is the purpose. And if the purpose is forgotten, we do a lot of efforts and get lost. Therefore, like one lady went to the doctor, and doctor said, you will have to take this diet, you will reduce. So, after 1 month or 2 months, she goes back and double the size. Then the doctor says, I told you, I have followed it, doctor, strictly. Tell me what you did. After I used to finish my normal food, then I used to take this. Now, this is how our understanding about scriptures is. So, here, the first principle. Mama yonir mahat brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham. In any creation, duality is essential. See? And mama yoni mahat brahma. Now, here is a technical term. Please try to understand. Everything in this world has a dormant potentiality. Like, for example, a child is born. Now, as a child, he does not have the potentiality manifested for procreation. He is a small child. Now, when the child is slowly growing and he comes to the age of puberty, maturity, then that faculty of procreation is manifested in him. Where from it has come? It has not come from outside. It was dormant in him. In the same manner, this Prakriti or the Maya, these are technical terms. Prakriti we take. In this Prakriti, there is dormancy, unmanifested condition, wherein because it is unmanifest, it is not recognized. And when it becomes mature enough to manifest, then it starts surfacing. See? In the same manner, when the Prakriti has just become mature enough to manifest, that state is called as the Mahat, in our local language, a state of puberty. Take an example. When we take a seed, let us take a horse gram, so hard that if you bite, your teeth will come out. Now that horse gram, you put it in the water overnight, and next day morning, slowly it is swollen. And when it is swollen up, then it has the possibility of germinating, the one going up and the one going down. So that state of the gram, which has not fully manifest into the plant, and which is no more a seed, but it is an in-between state, that is called as the Mahat Tattva, the total womb. And this total womb is called as Mahat Brahma. It is out of this one Prakriti that the total world is manifested. First principle. Now, Tasmin Garbham Dadhamyaham, I sow the seeds. Now, second problem. Whenever it is said, Garbham Dadhamyaham, I sow the seeds, what we will have understanding? That there is something in which the seeds are put. So, this is not the meaning. Now, take few examples to understand this. Suppose in this hall we have got a dozen of buckets, and there is one light above. So there will be about as many number of buckets with water, so many reflection in those buckets. Now because of increase in the number of buckets, there will be increase in the number of reflections, but because in the increase of the reflection numbers, nothing will be lost from the original. See? And therefore, when the whole world is created by the Lord, Lord does not suffer any loss, He does not become old. Tasmin Garbham Dadhamyaham, one example. Now, second example. Now take our example of electricity. When the electrical energy flows through a particular gadget, let us say a bulb, then we will say electrical energy is reflected as light through the bulb. It is reflected as the magnetic field through the fan. It is reflected as amplification through the amplifier. See? In this manner, reflection means manifestation. So, there is but one original cause, Mahat Brahma, and this Mahat Brahma, the Prakriti, is enlivened into activity by my presence. Tasmin Garbha Dvadhamyam. Now to understand this, take another example. If you understand this thing, all your problems about the creation, destruction will be over. See, take the petrol and the engine of a car. Petrol by itself will not take you anywhere. Engine by itself will not propel the car. If you take the petrol and do the Abhishek like a Shivalinga, nothing will happen except the wastage of the petrol. Then, under a particular set of circumstances, when the petrol is exposed to the engine, a phenomena takes place called as horsepower is released. And this horsepower thereafter takes the engine as well as the petrol along with it. If this is clear, in the same manner, matter and the consciousness. In place of petrol, keep the consciousness. In case of matter, keep the body. So, the petrol of consciousness and the engine of body. What is the horsepower? Horsepower is expression of the consciousness through the body as mind. When the body is able to manifest or allow the expression of consciousness as mind, then the body becomes enlivened. Make it very clear to you. And friends, this is the universal principle. It is not limited only to you and me, to everything. Whether it is a human body, whether it is a lizard, whether it is a plant, whether it is a small insect, principle is the same. When consciousness can express as mind through a body, that body becomes enlivened. And that enlivened body develops a notion. What notion it develops? The notion it develops is, I is other than you. And after this notion is developed, I is other than you, thereafter the whole duality and the tragic existence begins. Be very attentive. And when in deep sleep, this otherness aspect of the mind is enfolded, but the mind is not lost. As a result, the body continues to be enlivened, but there is no individuality manifesting. And again, the same mind, which was enfolded, thereby leaving the shape of the body, again takes the shape of the body. And thereafter, again the whole cinema begins. I versus you, you versus I. This phenomena is called as creation. Now tell me, have we found any difference in quality when somebody comes to harm me? I want to protect myself. And when we want to go and harm a mosquito, that time the mosquito runs away. See, the quality of identification, ours with our body or the mosquito with his own body, quality is the same. There is no difference. Once you understand, this is just a phenomena. Where is the place for the individuality? Tell me. When, from other example, when out of 10, 12 buckets, from one bucket we are thrown the water, will there be any loss to the sun or the bulb? Will there be any loss to the phenomena that the bulb can be reflected in the water? This phenomena will remain the same. In the same manner, in this world, there is nothing like creation or destruction. This is just a phenomena happening. And recognize this. Once you recognize this, There is nothing ever created. There is nothing ever lost. See? And to come to this understanding, what is required is that absolute purity. The small little things in this world will not disturb. And whenever we get disturbed by anything in this world, understand, you have given a status of reality to this world. It is something like one child was crying for holding the head of his own shadow on the wall. Crying. Now the moment he goes nearer, the shadow becomes small and he can't do anything. Because he can't catch. Shadow cannot be caught. When he catches, it is only the wall. And again starts crying. So the mother says, what's wrong? Can't you look after your son for 2 minutes? He is your son. Foolish. He wants to catch the shadow. How it is possible? So the mother comes coolly and she tells the baby, Beta, come here. What do you want? I want to catch the shadow's head. Okay, put your hand on your head. See, you have caught. Oh, Mama, you are a genius. And then Mama looks at Dad. Certificate. Isn't it? Friends, the whole thing is so simple. We have made it complicated. So, this is such a simple principle. Once you understand it, now see here, everything is taken care of. Papa, punya, your merit and sin, going to hell, going to heaven, taking birth, dharma, adharma, everything is washed out. See? So, mama yonir bhat brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavaha sarva bhutanam. And because of this phenomena, everything is created in this world. So what is the phenomena? Absolute reality cannot be comprehended first. Second thing, absolute reality, first expression is consciousness versus inertness. Duality is created. Now this consciousness is further expressing through the inertness called as equipment of the body as the mind. Now this mind further gets divided into two. One, the inner controller. Second, taking the shape of the body. The inner controlling aspect of the mind is common. When I take carbohydrate, the process of digestion of me, and when you take carbohydrate, the process of digestion is the same. There is no difference. But the second aspect is that the mind takes the shape of the body. See? Like, an ornament. Gold is supporting that ornament from inside. Plus, the gold takes the shape of the ornament. Now, what is that which makes one ornament different from other? The shape, the form. But when our attention is on the gold, there are no differences. So, all the problem begins in our life only because of this. Our mind has taken the shape and the form of the body. As a result, there is a notion of otherness. And when there is a notion of otherness, there has to be fear. There has to be desire. There has to be anger. Because someone is other than I. Dvitiyatmai bhayam bhavati. Again in the deep sleep, what happens? This shape of the mind is discarded. Then what happens? then that time only the inner controlling aspect of the mind, be attentive, is called as Ishvara, the God. In deep sleep, we are all one with the Lord. And therefore, when we get up from the deep sleep, we are again recharged to fight. And whole day, we are discharged, frustrated. Why? Because that time we go away from that God in us. Recognize this principle. And then come to discover the following facts. If all of us are made out of the same parents, Prakriti and the Purusha, where is the place to consider someone as ours and someone as not ours? Where is the time, place, logic, reason to discard somebody and to accept somebody? See? The result will be, with this knowledge, we will be able to love everybody without reason. Unreasonable experience of love is called as God realization. And this can happen under two conditions. Under knowledge as we are studying, or through devotion. In devotion it is bhavana pradhan. You go on insisting that none other than the Lord comes in my life. Even my neighbor, yes. Because other than him there is nothing in this world. Once you start this practice, then this knowledge will be meaningful. Therefore, mama yonir mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavas sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. See how simple the whole thing is. Therefore, friends, let us focus our attention that everything in this world is the manifestation of the same reality, and that reality is not away from us. It is not other than us. It is our own experience. Therefore, tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavas sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Now we go one step further in creation. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiyaha tasam brahma mahadyoni aham bija pradapita. So sarva bhuteshu yaha murtayaha sambhavanti. All the forms of all the beings that are created. Now see the greatness. Not only human beings, not only animals, not only plants. Wherever there is life, the principle is the same. See? When the children study in their earlier days, in their medical college or high school, first of all, they start killing the innocent frogs. And in those frogs, they dissect and then they study. This is scapula and this is radio ulna. These are the phalanges and this is esophagus and this is stomach and this is the small intestine. This is the large intestine. And this is the cardiac end, this is the pyloric end, this is called as this eye, that is called as eye muscle. You know that longissimus dorsi is called as eye muscle. Very funny medical science. So all those things they study in that frog. Then after destroying few frogs, then they come to the dead human beings. And again in the dead human being, the same thing. Do you remember we have seen scapula, where it was? I think it was near knee. Arey Ram. You better go back to class 10. So whatever we have studied in those animals, that we start seeing in the human beings. And after that is seen, then we get a license to kill the living beings. And when we have to go and do some operation, There again you don't have to ask, sir, excuse me, in this patient, where will be the Patela? Patel Nagar mein. No. See, everywhere it is the same. Sambhava sarva bhutanam. This principle of life is common everywhere. Be it human beings, be it animals, be it plants. And once you understand this principle, there is nothing in this world to gain or to lose. And when the yoga kshema, the concern to earn and the worry to protect, when these two things you have conquered, you are on the top of the world. Yoga kshemam vahamyam. Isn't it? In that LIC we accept. But when the Lord Himself tells, Ananya chintayanto mam, ye jana paryupasate, tesham nitya viyuktanam, yoga kshemam vahamyaham, that we don't want to listen. So, sambhava sarva bhutanam, tato bhavati bharata, and sarva yonishu kaunteya murtayaha sambhavantiyaha, tasam brahma mahajyoni aham bija pradaktita. Therefore, all of us have got common parents. Our common parentage is, this Prakriti is our mother and Paramatma is our father. You know, those people who do not know their gotra, etc. There are people. They know the pedigree of their thoroughbred dog. But their own gotra, who was their father, who was their grandfather, what gotra, where, nothing is known, is not important. Dog's pedigree is very important. See? So, those people who do not know, say, Pandit say, what is your gotra? Never mind. Kashyapa gotroham. When you don't know your gotra, you become a Kashyapa gotri. In the same manner, all of us have got common parents, the Prakriti and the Paramatma. Now be very, very attentive. Don't carry the load of this knowledge. This must be practiced in life. What is the kind of relationship we as a child have with our mother and father? With our mother, our relationship is that of bhoga or the yoga. Do we enjoy our mother or we serve our mother? See the change in attitude. When you take this whole world as your mother, the attitude of indulgence and enjoyment will disappear from your mind. See? Why we want to enjoy, indulge in this world? Because we are the enjoyer. You can enjoy anything in this world except your own mother. Howsoever criminal you may be, you cannot think of enjoying, doing bhoga with your mother. Friends, when this knowledge goes deep in our system, automatically our bhoga pravritti, this indulgence and enjoyment automatically is quietened down. Then from the animalistic, perverted existence of the overdeveloped, over-prosperous, uncontrolled freedom, we come to live to the dignity of a human being. See, this is the meaning. So when the teacher tells here, every one of us have got this Prakriti as our mother. And therefore, we are in this world not for indulgence and enjoyment. We are in this world to serve, to love, to sacrifice, to give. If this happens, you will never be miserable in life. Because when you indulge in bhoga all the time, and then, spirituality we'll do in old age. But we forget, after bhoga, the next station is roga, not yoga. And thereafter, we want to do spiritual practice in the old age, when we cannot sit properly. We want to do the satsang in the old age. The mic is not working. No, mic is working. The amplifier is switched off. Therefore, friends, please take this is not the science meant for those who are fit for nothing. No. This is the science meant for everybody to lead life in a more creative manner. So, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantya tasam brahma madhyoni aham bija pradapita. So, I am the seed behind the total creation. So, as we live our life with our parents, so we must live our life with the totality. Now see, this is another important thing. Unless this goes deep in our system, it becomes only a load of knowledge. Whenever we are in front of somebody or something which we respect and revere sincerely, what is the experience that we have that time? Just an example. Suppose you respect and revere me. This is just an example. You don't have to. Yeah, your freedom. So if you respect and revere me, and if you come in front of me, what is your experience? Arey baapre, Swamiji. No. On the contrary, hey, I am so happy. Is it not? Now, extend. If you respect and revere the whole world, the whole creation, not because of, but in spite of it is, you will be always experiencing unsullied, unbroken, continuous, homogeneous bliss of being wherever you are. That is the result of this knowledge. Mama sadharme magata. In other words, if we are able to look at the world as the Creator Himself is looking at the world. See? When we look at the child, and when the mother of the child looks at the child, you must have seen, spastic children's parents. When we look at a spastic child or deformed child, what is our thing? We feel, poor mother, I don't know what can be done, God's will and all that. We have compassion and bad feeling and all that. We go away. Ask that mother. She doesn't have compassion. She loves. On the contrary, the more problematic, deformed the child is, more intense is the love of the mother for the child. Because her vision is different. In the same manner, when we start looking at this world from the same eye as the Lord is looking at His own creation, then you will see, other than pure love, nothing will flow out of you. This is the meaning of this theory of creation. Otherwise we get lost. But when the world is created, what is the theory? Is it a Big Bang theory or a black hole theory? One day, one person asked me about these theories. I'll tell you about the theories in tomorrow's talk. He asked me, Swamiji, we in physics believe that the world is created out of either the black hole theory or the Big Bang theory. Which of the two theories you accept? I said, we accept that there is no creation. Then I said, there is a recreation. No creation. Creation and recreation not of difference. Recreation is what? Time pass. Like we all come here. And creation is, I have to do this, I have to do that, and after that is ho gayi, beti ki shaadi ho gayi. I don't know what next. Divorce. Wait, it will come. Therefore, friends, look at the world with this vision of the divine perfection. Then you will come to conclusion that in the absolute reality, relativity can be imagined and enjoyed. There is nothing wrong. Enjoy. But when we start taking the relativity to be the real one, then all the problems begin in our life. So take relativity as relative, not the absolute. With this knowledge, play the game of life. For that is this 14th chapter. Otherwise, we carry the load of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know. Why Bhagavan has talked this Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit? Why not in Hindi? Why did he talk only in Sanskrit? Why not in English? As if had he talked in English, you would have read or heard about it. Therefore, let us convert this knowledge into experience through practice. For this purpose is this knowledge given to us. Now hereafter, the teacher continues how we get caught up in our own creation. There is nobody who binds us anywhere. It is we who are solely responsible for all our miseries. Therefore, please remember this principle. Don't go and distribute your miseries to the people. Everybody is self-sufficient as regards miseries are concerned. Don't do that. Keep it for a rainy day. You'll require. Now what it is, how it is, we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.